let's build stuff. It's kind of like here. Imagine, here with BuildCraft and the Dire Wolf Pack and everything. You've got all this stuff to make.
Gnome Shack, baby.
Yeah.
And then once you rush through it and build everything, and you kind of get tired, it's like, okay, I've created everything that it's possible to create. People start drifting away from it then. And they don't usually come back until, so you're talking about 3 or 4 months with a lot of activity, and then you've got 3 or 4 months without a lot of activity. We're just the kind of the hardcore players.
Take any pearls or gold you want from
everybody's
Atlantis,
waiting
Kiev.
for the final challenges to come out. It's like, okay, we all need to build a pyramid, so everybody's waiting for that to happen, that kind of thing.
And is that done communally, where everybody gets together to build this pyramid, or is it done individually?
Pretty much communally, because the big projects like that you really can't do by yourself. It takes multiple people. Like for instance, building the pyramids, you had to quarry stone, and it took in that particular instance it took 4 people. You dug a pit, and then you stood somebody at each one of the 4 corners of the pit, and a box would come up. Each one of you had a symbol.
Okay.
Assigned to you, and a box would pop up, and you had to click your corner in the order that the symbols were, or the order that the numbers were. Let's say you were person 1, Keebs was person 2, I was person 3, Dwindon was person 4. A box would pop up that would say 3214, and the people had to click their boxes in that order. And then a box would pop up saying 1437 or 1432, and you had to click them in that order.
LOLB52s.
In the right order, the stone that you were quarrying would get closer to the surface. And if you clicked them in the wrong order, it would drop down a level again.
Yeah, props for recognizing it.
You could do it single player because there was food you could build in the game. One of the skills was cooking, and you could make food that would give you a lot of speed.
Hard
So
not
that
to.
you could,
They
if
local.
you were using this high level food, you could sit there, and when the box came up, you could run to each one of the corners fast enough and click on them and do it yourself. But that was really difficult because you had to have your timing down, and you had to make this really difficult high level food to do it. So there were a few people who did it, but it really wasn't worth it. It was far more do it as a group.
Like how you've made the crafting table float like magic.
Social game, then, is it? Or is it? I suppose most MMOs are supposed to be, but
Yeah, it's much more of a social game than most MMOs. Like I said, one whole school is the school of law, which you have to have people voting on your law proposals for them to be enacted. The art school is that way. The school of art is that way. You have to have people. You build, at least in the early test is that you build a sculpture, and you put it up there. And once you finalize the sculpture, a little voting interface comes up, and people that walk past your sculpture vote it up or vote it down. And if you get enough people voting it up, your sculpture gets approved, and you pass that level of the art school. So it's very much dependent upon other people.
Your thermopile has frozen.
it's strange watching him run about because it's almost like you can see thought processes occurring.
Yeah.
I often wanted to get one of those little ants farms, with the blue jelly and everything, and just watch them.
Yeah.
Watching
yeah.
Keeber run around here is a bit like
It's
what's
a lot
doing
like
that.
that.
I've been telling Mindfiend about it, telling the desert for the last 20 minutes or so, Keeps.
Hee hee.
But example of the laws is that someone proposed. I said as the tale goes on.
Did you enjoy it, Kiebs?
Fewer people play it after a while. More people are just kind of, okay, I've built everything I can build.
Yes.
So I'm going to wait for the end game. Whenever they come out with the final contest, the final challenges, I'm waiting for that now. And so you've got all these compounds. I mean, imagine if his big compound here, or your compound, or the hive. Think of, places like that, these big compounds that people have built, and they're everywhere. And they're just all essentially abandoned, because nobody's playing in them.
Right.
And, there's certain things, at least in Tell in the Desert 3, it's really, you either walked everywhere or you took what they called chariots. And chariots were basically like bus stations. Every district had a couple, 2 or 3 chariot stations. And the chariots would go from station to station. And that was kind of the fast travel in between zones. And, of course, the prime real estate were the building areas close to the chariot stations. So you had all these deteriorating compounds that were built close to the chariot stations that people weren't using anymore. So you had all this prime real estate that wasn't getting used because the people who had built them weren't playing, were off doing other things. So you had all this real estate. You had to walk through all these abandoned buildings to get to the chariot station. So someone proposed a law that said, I think that if a building has deteriorated by X amount, which meant that the person hadn't been on in several weeks or a month, if they've deteriorated down to X amount, 10% of their original value or whatever, you should be allowed to tear down that building. And that law got passed. So the next week they coded it into the game. So
oh, cool. That sounds really good.
So the week after that, there was such a flurry. People were running everywhere, tearing buildings down. I mean, just massive amounts of destruction as all these compounds and buildings come crashing down to the ground. And then, at some point, it caused a huge controversy too, because at some point, a lot of the people, logged back in to see if we were up to the final thing or whatever, and it's like, where are all my compounds at? They're all gone.
Well, serves them right, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So that was the kind of stuff that happens in the game.
I need rubber, I think.
How much? I have a bit.
Good boy. Always use protection.
Wait.
Ah, that's where his step come from, was it? He left at my place. He says he likes the sound of this cicada, that's why he collected it to put it here.
It is calming. It's much less annoying than a real cicada is. I've kind of gotten used to it in the background. It's kind of like when we had Matmos on and you always heard the birds and the wind in the background.
Yeah, I always found that Matlos was nice, but it did seem to eventually get annoying.
Does research have any harmful side effects like crafting does?
Looking for something. Oh, you can actually see what he's got on his table. That's unusual.
Golem animation core and greatwood logs. Is that how they made the whatever that golem is?
Oh yeah, I
That
presume
build
it'll be
pattern for
whatever.
it?
Yeah, I wonder whether it's just what different materials you make for the body makes it, or whether or not it's the different cores you put in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that says basic, doesn't it? Golem animation core basic. I mean, the golems are nice. I have to admit, I'd like to be able to make those.
Yeah, I like those.
I'm not sure there's anything else in Thaumcraft that is of any use to me. I haven't really seen anything.
Need 4 skulls.
But then you're not into mega mining with great big wands of power either, and that sort of thing.
I don't have any skulls.
Well, I've watched Keeves mine with that one, and I've watched Corvette Jaguar use his, and it seems very imprecise and not like the same as just going up and hitting the thing.
Flux seems to climb some.
Flux seeds to climb some. I have no idea. Decipher that, please. Probably Flux needs to climb some. That'll be it. Ooh, he's hidden an anvil in this corner with all the barrels. Sneaky bugger.
Oh yeah, Wizard Shack, 21 March. He's really tore through this.
Yep, like I say, just put it up one night. I came and it had got
Yeah.
everything in here, and jars floating with all the stuff, and golems
Jeez.
everywhere, and so either he has a really good memory and he remembered everything, or although he did say he stayed on far later than he should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he did have a huge amount of stuff over in the other world that he had done. I imagine you make enough jars, you remember how to make them after a while.
You did all this Thormy stuff and research in one single night, didn't you, Keebs?
Most in one night, and the next morning, I don't have it all done but caught up.
He's not Keebs anymore. He's the great Keeber.
What other videos have you been watching? You say Gog's put some videos up, has he? I have to admit, since I changed my channels, I haven't been back to Gog's. I haven't had a look.
Yeah, GOG had another video came out yesterday or the day before. Another grooving with Minecraft. So
Yeah.
it's the first one he's put up in about 2 weeks, so yeah, I'm planning on watching that one again. Or watching that one whenever I get on later tonight or something. There's the wife.
Come on over, honey.
Oh, God knows, she's at work. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna come over there. Done my 3 days for the week.
I bet this stone, this wasteland stone, actually, if you put it in the walls of a house, it would actually look pretty good, I reckon.
Okay, here's the plan.
Yeah, definitely depend on the pack. Oh, there's the lady. Let me grab that.
I love it when a plan comes together. G on phone with Mrs. O.
Come over to Netherward Farm for me.
Okay,
Okay, wooden golem there to pick things up, right?
yes.
Smart straw golem to harvest and replant.
Think they have a small sight radius. Need to make them perceptive to see farther. Yes. Can you put things into a barrel from the side? Yes, you can, any side.
You seen them?
See what?
Never mind, didn't work.
Can golems use barrels?
Nope.
Oh, darn it. Will have to be chests then.
I'm back again.
Okay. Keeps has just had a fail with his golems. They won't use barrels.
Oh. Well, that'll give him something to do. He can suck it out of the barrels, suck it out of the chest, and put them in the barrels.
Yeah.
Build a big old
Little straw guy keeps himself really busy.
network underneath or something. He does hop around a lot, doesn't he?
He really does. He just flying around, uprooting everything.
Whoop. I fell in the mine fiend trap.
The mine fiend trap.
Yeah, this hole he's got over here. Well, that's what he called it, the old place anyway.